Oh, the
Excuse
horror.
me, excuse me. I don't
Yes.
know what you've done with Ryan Boyles, Mr. Death, Face, Skull, Terrifying Grim Reaper Man, but I would like my friend back, please.
You can have him back, but I'm going to keep his luscious beard.
I almost spat my iced tea out.
All right.
Oh, that's good. That
Well,
is a cool looking
welcome.
mask. Is it
Welcome.
lit up or does it just look like it's lit up?
No, it's lit up. It's got the nice
Oh,
LED
oh,
effect. You
that is
know, everything
quality.
I buy now must have LED accents because
Of course.
that's what I
I would
do.
expect nothing less.
Oh,
Oh, there
man.
he is.
I'm going to tell you, though, these vacuum form masks, you remember these from back in the day, right? They
I
were,
do.
a lot of the old school ones have it. I don't know if the plastic is better, the same, or worse now, but it's very hot. It's not
They're very
comfortable.
hot, and you get scratches on
Yeah.
your face.
It's not comfortable, but it is cool to look at.
Well, welcome to Week's End. What would you say we're at? 95, 96,
95,
95
man.
episodes. My
Incredible. Like, I mean,
God.
really, really incredible accomplishment here. And we just wanted to do it upright with some costumes. So I just want to take the title off here and say that I just love this. If you can see it here,
I saw the
horror,
word horror.
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 This is a cool T-shirt that Alamo Draft House puts out. But what, Graham? I see. I'm detecting like a Canada Man vibe or something. Like, what's
I am
going on
just a
here?
typical Canadian male. This is how we all dress.
You're
This
kidding.
is, oh yeah, no, everybody, this is totally
I guess
normal
I could
looking.
see that. I did think it was weird when we were up there this summer and everyone was wearing a red blazer with like
Everybody.
accents.
Well, all, yeah.
I didn't
And you
know
have
if it
to have
was
the
just.
t-shirt too. And of course the official badge and you've got to have you got to have stuff. There's a
So
flag over
I'm
here.
confused here though. I'm Canada vibe is off the charts. It looks like it's on point. It's crisp. It's fresh. But
I just
then
need a Molson
I'm looking
Canadian
over
beer.
your shoulder and I still see this Captain America shield, which seems to be like Americana 101.
I'm a dual citizen, baby.
Oh,
I
I
can still
see.
show the shield while
I see. I see.
rocking my
All
Canadian
right, I'll
roots.
give you that. I can
Pun
see that.
intended.
Well,
All
good,
you
good
Canadian
call
fans,
there.
you will get that
So
one.
I appreciate that
I
dual
appreciate you asking.
citizenship, and
That's
that
right.
might come in handy these days. You don't know.
Yeah.
Um, so let me ask you one last question though, because I
Mm,
heard a rumor that it
mm.
might be true that you have a custom lightsaber made with kyber crystals mined in some cave to model the Canadian flag.
I do. It's actually a Saab Neo saber. It is red. It's supposed to be
Ooh.
red and white, but it's red and silver. But that's close enough. But the blade, when it works,
The law of demos, folks.
right? Oh my God, what is this, Microsoft? Anyway, if the blade was working, it lights up red, but it doesn't
Yeah,
seem
yeah,
to want
yeah.
to work right now.
Well,
Oh, it thinks
it
I'm trying to
seems to be
adjust the volume.
talking.
Oh,
There we go. Whoa,
I pushed the wrong button. It was trying to
man,
adjust the
that
volume.
is bright.
It is bright. But
That
yeah,
is
so
like
it's supposed to be
very official.
Canadian lightsaber,
I
but
like it.
it's pretty dorky.
I like it. That's nice,
Thanks.
eh? All right.
Thanks.
Um,
Thanks
first
for
topic
asking.
of the day is
Okay, let's get
Spirit
into it.
Halloween costumes. I don't know if you know about. There's this store called Spirit
I do.
Halloween, and apparently, anytime there's a derelict shopping complex or big box store in your neighborhood or at your mall, Spirit by law is must take it over and put a giant banner with the Grim Reaper on it,
Ours is
and
not far from where I
you know
live. We have one.
fill it full of Halloween goodies.
We have one. It'll close on the 2nd of November.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyhow, there's a meme that's been spreading like wildfire. I know you've seen it. Nice. And I
Oh,
just wanted to show off. Well, first of all, I don't know if you saw this, but someone made Spirit Halloween costumes of you and I.
who could have? There's no way you did that. I
It's
certainly
insane.
didn't do it.
It's
Who did
insane.
that?
Look at that. I just want
Who
to
did
zoom
that?
in here and just
Oh
say
my
that I
God.
guess they think I'm the nerd. I've got a corny dad shirt. I've got the ironic socks. I've got the LED shoes, and I've got cheap disposable sunglasses that are
I
indestructible.
love
But
the encyclopedic knowledge of Battlestar Galactica and Star Wars not included. By
yeah,
the way, I realize now we should have dressed up as our week's end characters.
well, yeah.
I
You
realize
know
that
what?
now.
It's gotten too chilly. I don't know. Probably for you too, with all the foliage and the autumn's in full effect. It's a little too chilly for this now
That's
for me.
fair.
But then you got labeled as the geek, and you apparently have the convenience store Raglan, the You do have fresh kicks, but you're rocking the '90s board shorts, and you've got apparently a stolen hotel pool towel.
I do.
Inexplicably.
I would like to point out there's a couple of errors. So first of
Okay.
all, Tintin is one word.
Oh,
Allow me to provide
well,
a complete demonstration. So
when they
Tintin.
translate, I'm going to let you in on something. When these retailers, when they translate like real life to these costumes, there's often errors like this that are made.
That's true, and it's not a Canada tattoo, although it has a Canadian maple leaf. It is the Canadian Red Squadron from Star Trek, which of course,
so for you
something
super
I made
fans
up. But anyway,
there,
that's not really the point.
all three of you that are watching, the super fans, if you want to get the Spirit Halloween #weeksin geek costume, you want to make sure, if you're really hardcore, to make those corrections to your outfit, and then you'll really be the envy of all your geek and nerd friends.
You'll be so popular.
Inexplicably. But you know what? There were a few
Inexplicably.
There's a couple of others that I just can't let go here. Like, check this out. I know you saw this
God,
one. The
this one
retro
is
gamer.
so funny.
So the perfect Halloween costume does not exist. Yeah. So the thing that cracked me up about this is that it goes into almost like a dialogue that just scrolls off the screen that can't even fit on the package when they start explaining the
creature
gear.
of the night. I also love the fanny pack, but
Yes.
with the metal symbol and the Nintendo hoodie, and it's just
Really awesome.
it's all so perfect.
I love it. You know what? There's one more. There's one more that really jumped out at me, and that was Tech Influencer. This one really hits home because I've spent so many years in this industry. I can see this guy, and I know what it means to be in a room with somebody of this stature and magnitude. I don't know about you.
Well, let me be clear on what I'm really dialing in on here, because there's lots of influencers who provide lots of helpful information. Yeah. What I'm talking about is marketers like me who are sent in as fill-ins to do like some tech presentation when we're really just reciting what we've been told. We don't really know what we're talking about. I know that's a shock to some people.
You got to sell it.
But you got to sell it, baby. So yeah, you need the socks. You got to have the headset mic on. If you look closely, that guy is wearing one. I will state that what is not included in this costume is the blazer from JCPenney and a tie from Target.
Right. Well, you kind of got to, your stage uniform.
And the light up shoes.
You got to make something that's practical yet repels alcohol. So those are our favorite Spirit Halloween costumes of the season. So, man, I had a lot of fun with these. I know you did too. I wanted to talk about something that I know you might not be that into, but I am definitely into, and that is the spooky. Well, let's say spooky. And the reason I'm saying spooky is because there was a story or a tweet actually that was all about defining yourself through the horror films that would sort of like most like represent you as a person. So here are the top 10 horror films to get to know this person. And I wanted to ask you, if you were challenged with the same question, what would your answers be?
Well, honestly, a lot of them are on here. I mean, Jaws, Dracula, Poltergeist, Alien, The Thing, 82. Yes.
Yep. Some of these aren't considered traditional horror, but they are. The
problem is, like, I'm not really into horror movies, so that's the thing. I like sci-fi horror, which I guess is what Alien is, or Aliens as well, technically. But the real defining one here, in my opinion, is Poltergeist.
Yeah,
it absolutely terrified me as a child. I love watching it now. I just literally watched it. Like,
you don't like horror? So you're into more of the paranormal. You're into paranormal, is what you're saying, not slashers.
Yeah, first of all, the whole Spielbergian feeling of Poltergeist was amazing, and it also had like almost like a tech component to it that was kind of cool. When they brought in all the gear, they were kind of Ghostbuster-esque. But I just found that movie to be really, really horrifying.
Yes. Yeah, it was. And for a number of reasons. And I think the reason it resonates is because you can almost see yourself in the shoes of that family. Like
You know
when
what?
I was,
That's a really good point.
whether you're watching it now and you're our age and you're a parent of a teenager
Yeah.
or a young, a child, or in our case, when I watched this when I was much too young to watch scary movies, that scene with the son in his bedroom and the clown doll
Clown.
comes to life and drags him under the bed. I mean, that's the
For me, it was the white thing at the door that had
it's the
like the
ultimate
legs that were
nightmare.
up.
Yeah. Well, that ratcheted up a notch.
Man,
And
that was
you
just
know the reason I
scary
identified with
shit.
that is because I must have watched this when I was that came out, around the time that I was probably not quite 10 years old yet. And I had the C3PO light switch
Yeah.
that guy had in his, then those are all those Spielberg Easter eggs that they worked into the film and between him and George. But really cool stuff. So I agree with you on that one. I agree with Alien. There are other horror films I would add, but we don't have time to get into that today. I'm going to put the list up on my Twitter.
I don't know. Jacob's Ladder as well. I only watched it once, but I saw it in the theater when I was, whenever it came out. I must have been a relatively young teenager, and that one really freaked me out.
Yeah. Well, I want to know, folks, if you know what the horror films are that would help us get to know you, let us know. Drop some comments.
I'd love to know.
We might put them up here on the screen if you put them on during the broadcast. We'd love to know. Let's get into our next subject, which is we always talk about films and entertainment. So here's our entertainment section. So did you know that Lord of the Rings is 45 years old now? The animated classic. The animated classic is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
My God, we are so.
And you remember
old.
this, right? Like this was like
Dude, of
the
course.
breakout moment where I think kind of Lord of the Rings became mainstream and kids got into animated features there was really like nothing like this before, because we were moving from like stop motion with those types of holiday classics into this kind of genre type approach, which was really a new thing at the time.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think it still is. I should watch it again. I don't even know the last time I watched it.
Well, there were all these people that really crapped on it as not being as good as the books or not being faithful or whatever. And I think that's kind of missing the point. I mean, when I look at this is like classic, this is like classic 80s anime to me, which I was really
totally classic 80s.
So I really dig it. I and the aesthetic stands up today for me. Man. You know what?
That's a funny loop.
It is a funny loop. I wanted to know how you enjoyed the new Real Genius in 4K.
Okay. So first of all, shout out to Martha Coolidge. I just love this movie. And thanks for liking my tweet, by the way.
Yes,
so I got Real Genius in 4K Ultra High Definition.
HD.
And it's really, so there's some restored, deleted scenes. I'm not going to say what they are, although it actually lists them on the back. But
was there new stuff? That's what I want to know.
There's also, she does a great commentary, which is
nice.
really, really cool. And they have both a 4K like remastered version and the original television version, which is also interesting. And it's great because it features one of the world's great higher education universities, Pacific Tech. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So if you're looking for this, because we talked about it coming out a while ago, now it's actually available. You can get it on Amazon. It's not that much. And it's got this great cover art on it. And I love this movie.
Yeah, man. I just love that. Well, it's become actually rare that releasing something like this on 4K on disc on high definition actually comes with any real extras that aren't just either recycled from the Blu-ray or just aren't there altogether.
And I don't know if they ever did this before. They may have. I don't know. This is the first time in fact, what's interesting about this is the first time in a very long time that I bought physical media.
Yeah.
Very long time. The last one was years ago, and it was Better Off Dead. And the only reason I bought Better Off Dead wasn't because it was a special edition or something. It was because I really wanted to watch it, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It's not for some reason. That one you can find One Crazy Summer. You can find some of the other ones, but Better Off Dead, I don't know if it wasn't cleared for streaming or I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
But you can't find at that time. Maybe you can now. I haven't looked, but I bought it, and so I rarely ever buy physical media. But this I had to have it.
Had to have it. All right,
It's a moral imperative.
I might be adding it to my list as well.
You should add it to your list.
Also, in the realm of film, this got me. I don't know, dude. I'm super excited. But did you hear Superman's back?
I did. Now, I think he's excellent as Superman. I definitely think he's one of the best. I think that I am really excited to see him in the role again because I think his whole approach to the role is brilliant.
Yeah.
But, and I don't know who said it. It may have been one of the directors. Somebody said that he's the best Superman of all time.
Well,
and I don't agree with that.
We don't have to go there. Let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
There are different generations, and honestly, I think the only one we can arguably, have a debate about is Brandon Routh. But even he has redeemed himself now. So
honestly, I thought he was great. I mean,
yeah.
I can't really think of one that I don't like because I really only know three of them, right? Christopher Reeves, Brandon Routh, and Henry.
But I don't even blame him
Cavill?
for that because honestly,
Cavill?
I think he was okay, and he was given a crap movie and a false start on a new franchise.
He was, but that movie had some great scenes in it.
It did.
But Man of Steel is a fucking great movie.
Yes,
and so, and I know he's been in other things, whatever it was, Batman versus Superman and all that.
Oh, yeah,
business.
yeah. But we're going to get,
yeah.
Here's how he described it, which also is interesting, was it's going to be enormously joyful storytelling. And I don't know what that means, but I'm all here for it because
maybe they're going to bring it back a little bit more to what the movies were like in the 70s and 80s, where they were more fun than violent.
Yeah.
Than like a violent struggle. Because remember, he killed Zod, which was a bit much.
Well, and I would say that's why Superman Returns didn't work, is that it was a very dark kind of hopeless movie where they just slapped the old music on it and it just didn't work. So
no, the one where he kills Zod was Man of Steel.
No, I know that. I'm saying not Henry's film, the other one.
Yes.
But I want to see Man of Steel 2. I want to see Justice League 2. I'm all about this. And the thing that is also giving us hope here, folks, is that there was some other news. James Gunn and Peter, I guess, can you say that? Safran they're going to lead a new sort of rebooted studio, DC Studios, for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, this is major progress. To me, this is really promising, and I'm really excited about that. I mean, I don't really know who Peter is, but I definitely know who James Gunn is, and I'm a big fan of James Gunn. So, whether it's things like Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. Yes, exactly what you're saying right there. And when you think about what Kevin has done for Marvel, I'm excited to see James do that for DC, because the DC has not. There has been some good stuff, but there's a massive universe of awesome stuff out there.
It's all disjoint. I would argue even that their TV stuff has been more interesting lately than the films themselves, but that's where they've enjoyed all their success with like the fandoms, is with Flash and Supergirl and Doom Patrol and all that stuff. But
yeah.
That's really cool. So you wanted to talk about a book, but
okay,
what's going on here?
It's not just a book.
Really?
So I found out about this book called Apollo Remastered. Well, it is just a book, but you'll see what I mean.
It's
a couple of months ago, and I did a pre-order on it, and then it just showed up here one day. And I'm a huge NASA buff, but I really love Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, and Shuttle Era too. So basically all of it.
Yeah. Space. I love space.
But this book showed up, and dude, it's the book. Look at it. It's huge.
Nice.
It's absolutely stunning.
All right, I'm giving you the floor.
Look at the quality of these. Yeah, give me the floor, baby. Look at the quality of these photos. I mean, they're just extraordinary. Like, and by the way, looking at it through this, my crappy ring light and this shitty camera, you can see like right there is Jim Lovell, like inside Gemini. You can really see him there. I mean, and you can really get a sense of the moon. I guess the point is like, when you're an Apollo fan, you feel like you've seen it all, right? You feel like you've read it all. You feel like I wouldn't say know it all, but especially with some of the people that I follow on Twitter who are just brilliant. But this allowed me to see things that some of it I've seen before, of course, but in a level of detail I've never seen before.
Yeah.
So you
I love that.
and the captions that are written are awesome. So if you're an Apollo fan, or if you know an Apollo fan,
Ooh.
get this book.
It is the holiday season.
It's the holiday season. Get this book. I mean, I was able to get it on Amazon. It's worth every penny they charge you, because it's a really, really beautiful book. And what's nice is you don't need to like sit down and try to read it. You can kind of like pick it up and look at different pieces of different missions at different times, and you'll see. And I've only looked through a quarter of it at this point, and just that blew my mind away. So it's probably one of the best sort of coffee table style, large print format books that I've not large print, like photographs.
Yeah. Well, coffee table book.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, really great. And I learned a whole bunch of stuff I didn't know constantly. I mean, it's
That's
just
what I
really,
love.
really cool.
And that's what I love about the behind the scenes books that we've talked about on the show with Star Wars, is that you learn,
and the
or
art
Alien,
of,
or any of those books where you learn so much more than has ever been out there on the internets where people blab about stuff.
Totally.
So keeping it on space. I can't use my words. Space. But we're also going to bring it back to film. We're going to find out, folks, if Tom Cruise can run in space, because apparently he's going to be the first civilian to go into a spacewalk scenario outside the ISS.
So, first of all, nothing about this surprises me. If anyone's going to do it, Tom Cruise will,
of course,
will be the one to do it. But here's my take on this. It's just not necessary. It's dangerous. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's needless with the level of movie making and effects and sets and things that we can do these days, or they could do it like they did with Apollo 13 and stuff like that. So I just while I understand what they're doing, and they're doing it for the wow factor of being like, ooh, they're going to make a movie ever shot in first movie in space. And I don't know, maybe when it comes out I'll totally change my mind and be like, nope, it's worth it, it was amazing. But what I suspect is it's going to end up being a hugely expensive and dangerous undertaking for very little amount of actual footage, and that's the part that I don't necessarily agree with.
It's just like with in the Mission Impossible where he was hanging on the side of the plane, he's just trying to one up himself at this point, like that's all
right. But the only person at risk there was him.
Right, that's true. Oh, that's a great point.
Here, you're putting people on board the ISS. I mean, there's 15 people in space right now, or whatever it is, right? Sure. And so now you're putting those people potentially at risk for what? For Tom Cruise to make a movie? So I'm not so sure I agree with it. But
got it.
Let me see when it comes out.
Okay, fair enough.
And maybe I'll feel a little different.
Fair enough. Well, also in Easter egg news. I don't know if you noticed this or if you got this one yet, but there's a little bit of a Easter egg in the 4K release of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure as well. Did you see this?
I did. I am trying to. I need to do a little homework here to dig into this, and I want to watch the movie again. But I never noticed this, and I have seen this movie more times than I can count. But that
are they trying to say that it only was revealed once you could watch it on 4K?
Yeah, so that's basically what they're saying is once you could get it in a level of definition where you could really see it, you can actually see that what they're hovering above is the Circle K. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch it again. I don't doubt this. I mean, that's clearly the great ones. That's clearly the set that you can see you can actually see the time machine or the phone booth coming down out of the circuits of time there. And I never noticed that. And that just blew me away when I found out about this. I just thought that was incredibly cool. Never, ever, ever noticed that. And I think what it is in 4K, you can see the Circle K. It's not that you can just see the sort of front of the store. It's that you can see the Circle K render. So, wow.
What we're trying to say is it was a very slow news day. But I just want to back it up a minute before we get into our final two stories of the week and have
oh boy,
a baby Grogu moment.
Oh my God, look at that.
We have a new addition to the portfolio of Grogu investments at the
So
Boyles
proud of you.
household. And
That's wonderful.
I just want to say,
You must be so happy.
marriage still on the rocks, but Grogu portfolio grows every day.
I know that feeling.
So just wanted to include you
I
in
found
that.
out about a Lego Viking warship that actually has the
Oh.
sea serpent, and so I'm hoping to get that.
Here's
And set it
how
up
you're
and
going to
put
go
it right
about
back
that.
there.
This is how you acquire the Viking ship. You build it into your Christmas decorating plans and you affix it to the top of your house with a Viking Santa Claus. I think your wife might go for that.
I think I like that plan. I don't know about that, but I like that plan.
All right. All right. Speaking of Star Wars, we wanted to have a brief mention about what we think now that we're 7, 8 episodes into Andor.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the title I would have put up, but
Okay.
I'm
We'll
glad
let you
you
do the
think
titles
so.
next time.
No, but I'm glad you think so.
Well, I'm it's grown on me because I know
It's
that
growing on me too.
we were bemoaning the slow burn approach, and you're arguing that it's still a slow burn approach. But I think I'm excited now that we're getting into the fact that the rebellion has kicked off. It's really messy. There's the political intrigue. To me, that's the kind of that was the cool stuff about the prequels to me, and they didn't do enough with it because they just wanted cheap lightsaber action. And I just think it's cool to see sort of the rebellion forming, and like it is a big deal because the Empire is kind of to me the Empire is much more of a metaphor of current times right now.
Oh my God, yes,
At
of
it
course it
when you
is.
look at it through this lens.
Oh hell yeah, dude! There's so much in Andor that is reflective of what's happening around the world.
Well, just colonialism, all that stuff.
Well, and I mean it's essentially a show about British colonialism, which is really incredible. I mean, and that's the thing is it's like not even subtle. I like it. It's getting better. I still think it's slow. I still think there's some parts where I'm just like, what are we looking at here? But the thing that frustrates me is it's like the more they try to make it look like stuff you would see on Earth, like with the cereal, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that are kind of like, oh, we have that here. And I find that to be like, I don't know, it's like bringing the worlds closer, and I don't like that. Um, but it is getting better. I'm trying not to say too much.
Well, here's
let
the
me ask
thing.
you. I have a question
Well,
for you. What do
even
you
with
think
just
they're making in that factory?
oh,
Because I have a theory as to what those are. I think it's the things on the sides of the wings for TIE fighters that hold panels in place.
But I look, I enjoy the moments of just being on a remote planet like that, and then you have a TIE fighter coming in.
Yes.
All the stuff that you told me to look out for when I was catching up.
I mean,
is,
it's Scotland,
is
so how can you go wrong?
And I want to visit there, and I want to summer there, and all that. But I would say, still, just Cassian Andor, the rogue, who's not sure why the hell he's doing what he's doing, or where he's going to go, or how any of this is playing out. Like, just there's an appeal to that because it's like it's not just the straight up Luke Skywalker protagonist who's looking to go blow up something.
Yeah, and let's be clear, Andy Serkis is not playing Snoke, so everybody needs to let that go. And he's just another character. But for those of you who are real fans, pay very close attention who's working at the table in the factory with Cassian, because there's somebody in there you may recognize, and it may take you. And I don't mean an actor from another movie. I'm talking about it's a character from another Star Wars movie, and pay attention.
Well, I even like if we back up one episode to where like the Empire is reacting to the first sort of, terrorist event, and they sort of like, come down on everybody with an iron fist, and they institute all these ridiculous laws where they like take a misdemeanor, drug violation and bump it up to 10 years automatically in some circus court. Like all of that stuff, the political ramifications and everything, just that to me is fascinating.
Love it.
All right. Andor. Let us know what you think, folks. So I think you have a series idea of the week. Do you?
I do.
You have several. So here's the problem, folks. Every time we talk about Graham's ideas, he's got too many ideas. We're having trouble.
So I'm going to give you 3.
Okay, you're going to give me 3 this week,
and you have to pick which one you like for this week. Okay. Okay. So the first one is a series set in the future, okay, in which a team of historians working at a newly established global Earth archive, so something that represents the entire planet,
Okay.
they time travel and go back to identify, locate, or acquire items of extreme historical importance. So maybe sometimes they're just taking a look at them. Maybe sometimes they're actually taking them. However, here's what's fun. Each episode takes place in a different time.
Right.
Different period of time. And the title for the show is Reference, like Reference Librarian. Okay.
Ooh.
That one's not that good.
I enjoy your titles the most.
The next one is a Predator sequel, so the 1987 movie, where there's a competing race of alien hunters, and they look like they did in the original tests with Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? So they're these weird looking, crazy looking animals.
Right.
And the idea is that this species doesn't hunt for sport, it hunts for food. It hunts humans for food.
Ooh.
And the title is Carnivore.
Ooh, that sounds gross.
Okay. The last idea for the week is German scientists who have been conscripted by the Nazis in World War II. They build a bell-shaped time machine disguised as a test weapon. So one of the wonder weapons. They plan to use it to go back and stop Hitler's rise, but an SS officer infiltrates the team and they all get trapped in an alternate universe. And the title, which is, if you haven't read this conspiracy theory, you should go read it, is it's Die Glocke, but it looks like die, D-I-E-G-L-O-K-E, which means the bell, right? And so that is based on this conspiracy theory these people have, that there really was this weird bell-shaped thing. They don't know what the Nazis were building. I mean, it's
I think that was Dr. Fate's helmet, wasn't it?
It's just like ancient aliens kind of garbage, but it's a really cool conspiracy theory. And there's this thing called the Ring that is still up over, I think it's in Poland or in Germany somewhere. So those are my three ideas. So the first one is historians that go back in time and take objects of importance. Second one was the Predator, but he's not hunting for sport,
Carnivore.
hunting for food, Carnivore. And the last one is the bell.
Okay. I've got to go off camera and consult with my colleague before we go.
I'll wait. What's happening over there?
Okay. We have deliberated long enough. We are going to go with the third film.
The Bell.
But we have notes. We would like it to star Tom Cruise. He must have an eye patch, and it must be Valkyrie 2: The Bell.
Okay, I like it. We'll go with that.
All right. I think
maybe that's the thing is.
I think that's a surefire.
Maybe he was still executed for the events of Valkyrie, but they go back and they get him before the Nazis can execute him because they know that Colonel von Stauffenberg was capable of producing an incredible plot that almost took out Hitler. So they're like, bro, if anyone's going to kill baby Hitler, it's you. Get in the bell.
That's right. That's right. And when you're fighting a baby, you don't need much depth perception. So the patch works for him. You know?
And one arm is fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, I like those. That's excellent work. You're going to have to publish a compendium of these and make it into a coffee table book with your sketches.
Oh,
Yes,
good.
I'm full of bad ideas that add on to your good ideas.
All right, folks, let's wrap it up.
Week's End. That's been us, Graeme and Ryan. We hope you have a really safe and delicious trick-or-treating experience on Monday, and we'll see you on the next Week's End.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.